Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 140, 22, 21. Damn it,
There we go.
First time.
misinterpreted
First time.
Skid's hand signaling.
Went to the 140s. He's skipped
Yeah.
over like half the year.
Yep.
The only reason why my mind went 40 is because in my other session that I had yesterday, they had 41, and there I wanted to say 37 or something like that, which also is completely wrong. So right now I'm mixing up the session numbers between the campaigns. Yeah.
We're at this point.
Yeah, we are. Kind of losing track on the numbers there. It's a little bit confusing as you get along. Yeah, but we're back. And once again, I will say up front, I didn't do the intro. I didn't have time. I apologize. You know what? I will stop making guarantees because it seems like every time I do that, I'm less likely to actually do it. It is still in my calendar. It is still marked. I did not forget. I was looking at it, but I was like, I need a bit more time for that. So hopefully next week. Yeah, I will give hope. I won't give guarantees. I will give hope, just like in Star Wars. And with that, we'll come to a quick recap. You guys, the Fate Weavers, after going to the Feywild, you have managed to defeat a fiery threat known as Magla, who's been kind of ordering the fire scorn elves to burn down the Fey Forest for some, well, very religious self-belief. And in that turn, you've kind of halted the kind of decay of magic, at least within the area of your continent, it seems like. That's what Azathia told you, as it seems like that is a very natural thing for trees to get used up for spell components, or that is the literal source of your magic. But there's usually a balance that has, already tipped over, and Magla just kind of, well, put fire to the already burning forest, which wasn't good. And so you bought yourselves several years, if not decades, of magic use that would still be alive within the continent. And then you tried the trials of Astaniel the Valiant. However, that didn't quite go as planned, and you were still a bit off of your success, but learned a lot about the encounter itself, kind of established maybe potential things you might change the next time you want to enter that crypt to try and gain a better footing with the extra knowledge you have gained to then get the divine artifact that is currently being shielded or protected by Astania. And so, since it's only every 10 days you're allowed to go inside of the crypt after using it, you spent some time in the Feywild, while two of you kind of went out exploring. Arik almost getting mugged by a small kobold, and after which you went with Isorel, showing her an old ruin that seems to have been kind of grown over in the Feywild, and would also be kind of led to Oswald the Knowledgeable, like a very old tree that seems to be anchored here. And he told Isorel a bit about the Dryadalus Court. And it seems like that Azathia was kind of somewhat deliberately withholding information, since you discovered he is actually part of the Dryadalus Court and one of the Fays that came from a distant continent, and not the Feywild itself, and that they have traveled across the world because some catastrophe has taken root in their home continent, which kind of forced them to leave. And while you were kind of doing the Fey exploration, Fiera, of course, as per usual, was messing around with things beyond her, which included trying to make a contract with Tiamat, a literal god. That didn't seem to go as expected, as Fiera unintentionally gave the wrong impression, I guess, is the best way to describe that conversation. And it seems like Tiamat is not interested in, well, rulership or godhood. In fact, it seems like quite the opposite. It seems like she's more on a path of self-destruction and potentially the self-destruction of everything, which kind of threw Fiera a little bit off. And so you were jutted out, and then you kind of just used your time in the very literal sense to dilate it so you perceive it more slower, to kind of just focus your mind on several things and manage to gain a greater attunement towards the very thing you are kind of, well, walking towards, which is just the perception of time and maybe even direct attunement to it directly, and manage to kind of create like a safe bubble space where you are just yourself with your thoughts and can use this to try and discern certain connections of information that you have before, gaining a new ability where you can, per session, if you do the exact procedures that you have did last time and succeed on your checks, ask me, the DM, to try and connect two dots, and I will always answer truthfully. But obviously, as per every DM truthful answer, I can be extremely vague about it. Unless it's something very obvious. If there's still like a link missing, then that is what I will say. Which is what happened last time, as you asked what the connection between Calyx and the invading devils are, and it seems like there seems to be a relationship with where the origins of blood magic was established and the first light bearer that you seem to have potentially overlooked or kind of ignored, as the entire devil connections seem to be around that area that you guys have ignored for a little bit, and that is what Fiera was realizing, that might have been a part of the puzzle that hasn't been considered yet. Yeah, and you just gained Keen Mind, because you can literally stop time almost at will. So you can memorize things better. Even though we can't say the updated, what we have right now, which is, it's kind of a mix of the old Keen Mind feat and the new Keen Mind feat.
Yeah, I kind of created a feat to put everything under. Yeah, I can put it in chat. Essentially, I just have a really instinctual sense of like the passage of time, so I know like how much time has passed. And then I took quick study too, so I can do a study action as a bonus action. Those two things.
Yeah. So she doesn't have photographic memory, she just only has a extremely good perception of the passing of time. And because of that, she can, you know, kind of hold time in mind increments, allowing her to study things at a more precise or efficient degree. And with that, question of the day, which now, once again, I will target a player, which is, of course, the person who we were talking about, fucking Fiera. What crazy shit do the other two think she's gonna do now?
Oh boy. Oh boy. There's no end to what could happen.
Yeah.
There really is no end. I'm Greg, and I'm playing Irik Spanner, the human artifighter. What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? I could say just anything, because whatever's in Matt's head, I don't know. But being in the Feywild, I feel like is pushing Fiera a little bit harder and faster towards like experimentation and stuff. I don't know why specifically, but like maybe the fact of being in the Feywild is just like a little bit of safety almost to her, that whatever happens here might not necessarily affect or have as great an impact on the material plane. I don't know. I think she just feels more safe to explore the experiments in the Feywild.
Yeah, hi, Matt. Playing Fiero, the wizard. Yeah, I guess I can't really give answers. That's spoilers. All I can tell is that as fear grows, so does her ego and her curiosity. The more she learns, the more she wants to push what she can learn and what she can do and who she can talk to. Yeah, she's pushing those limits.
Hi, I'm Skit. I play Isra Leofina, the druid cleric. Oh, what is Fiera going to do? Probably try to break herself a couple times, maybe by trying too much. Thinking perhaps that she's a little too safe in the Feywild. We might need to go to her rescue, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Battle points. Now you all know I have a fraction of what I feel every single session. I'm like, what the hell is she gonna do? Yeah. Anyways, time to see. After the intro, and then we can see if, well, Matt was kind enough to give me like a little hint what you might potentially do, but I have already learned to not take those too seriously because you do like to heavily deviate from what you say. So let's see. We shall see. Wow. Lost and scattered, the scars of the age yonder have become the interest of many factions. To bring about peace and serenity through holy light, or to bring about the dawn of blood through sacrificial rituals. The ruins of the old world hold the knowledge and the power which people wish to use to influence and change the world around them. The land is vast and great, and much of the world is still steeped in secrets. Secrets which are buried underneath sunken and forgotten ruins. And after countless calamities, wars, and natural disasters, now in different stages of decay, are the artifacts which hold the potential for peace, but also destruction. Those few which were uncovered are but a fraction of what lies in the world, and with each setting sun, time threatens to keep the lost knowledge and potential hidden forever. Kingdoms rose, religions formed, and wars were fought in the name of the knowledge and power uncovered. And now a new generation of adventurers, heroes and villains have come once again in search for the very artifacts which would reshape the world once again.
The holy light will guide us to an age of serenity and peace, an age of safety and resplendence. As long as our faith does not wane, we are to be granted salvation. It is written so within the scripts which our forefathers found.
Our engines will be fueled by its eternal fire. It may have been used as punishment for those before us, but we shall use it as fuel for the peace ahead of us. We have marched into hell, and the fire we took will create paradise for us. Alright. So, since Matt isn't there, we'll start things off with Isabel and Eirik. After your talk with Oswald, you decided to go a little bit more deeper into the ruins you just found not too long ago to try and see if perhaps you can find more, since you're also told by Oswald that these ruins specifically belonged to the Dryadalis. was built for them when they escaped from Azanvaros, the continent they came from. And as such, you traveled back there, and without much trouble, since it isn't a terrible distance away, and there aren't any immediate threats at the moment. Here and there you get approached by some weird pixies, but Isol's insight is high enough to discern that they are just trying to steal your shit. And that's why you managed to arrive without much troubles back at the scene of natural crumbled houses that in part reflect a broken part of this forest that in some weird sense the trees and other parts of the surrounding just communicate a whispering sad feeling, as if the very structures themselves have an emotion that they carry and communicate. What would you two like to do as you kind of step back into this strange scene?
Well, first I want to go to that spot where I heard what I'm presuming was the kobold when he was digging around and trying to find stuff around the corner from me before he mugged me. I want to see what he was going through.
Yeah, sure. You can, with your passive investigation, rather quickly kind of discern where you stood before. And from there, you kind of look around. You can make an investigation check. You have the vague area of where you heard him. And can try and see. Wow, was a 29, starting up strong. Yeah, you can see that there have been pieces of rubble that have been kind of turned over, and you can also see how there's a small collection of stones that have been kind of placed aside, and where there's like a small hole. It seems like he was digging for something. You don't necessarily see any specific object that it may have been looking for, but you can see he was like, unturning, rubble and things, looking under things, digging, presumably searching for something, but with only this hole and kind of some misplaced stones. You aren't entirely sure what he may have been looking for, but with a 29, what you think is you found this small statue here, and there are a lot of other odd bits and pieces just lying around that might be valuable to a kobold. Maybe something shiny or something different, since he was attracted to your coin pouch. So there might be other things that they might were trying to loot within this ruin.
Well, I mean, some people, they've been here more recently than not, I presume, because I feel like with the way that the Fae changes things, this would have been like all gone and covered in like things forgotten if it had been a while.
I mean, yes, but also no. It depends. If nature doesn't want to be near what has been built by us, by bipeds, I don't want to say humans, but you get what I mean by Chaldeans, right? It depends. But there is a strong chance, yes, that they were around not too long ago, relatively, like with the Feywild, because it's different, right? So yeah, there is a chance. It might sound bad, but I kind of want to see if we can loot the place for anything.
Well, that was going to be my next thing. I mean, we already saw the little figurine thing.
Yes.
I'm sure there's stuff around. There's got to be other stuff, but I don't want to impose and ruin some, I don't know.
honestly, if it just stays here, at one point, one day, nature is going to reclaim the place anyways. It's already in ruins. I don't think anyone's coming back here.
Hmm.
And if they do, they're gonna have to build back from almost ground. So, I don't see. It's kind of the same thing as when we visited those draconic ruins with Vashina, right?
Yeah, no, I guess so. Not everything was alive there, though. That's where I get weird, I guess. I don't want to just be going through everything and like ruining the sanctity, I guess, of the Feywild. Everything's
I think you're putting too much thought into it. If
probably.
I think as long as we are like mindful of not like crushing vegetation around, we'll be fine. You know? Just like the same way we've been careful while we were walking not to stomp on plants like unnecessarily.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for digging around, and all we have is time right now, so we're just kind of waiting for Fiera to do her thing.
Yep.
I guess I'll go over and start moving those rocks around and whatever that the kobold was going through, and start from there, see if anything starts to interest me.
Yeah, definitely. Then you can continue your investigation check. Alright. And anything that you specifically like to do, Isurel, while feasting around?
So you're basically looking around outside, right? Like where the kobold was?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what inside and outside is at this point, based on the descriptions and how the nature works. But yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to look for what could have been either a porch or an entrance, so I can try to make sense of what the ruin was, so I kind of make a mental map of this was probably the foyer, this was probably a room, like etc., and try to map it out so that we know what we're looking at a little bit more precisely.
Yeah, of course. You can make an investigation. Yeah, it would be investigation since you kind of mapping.
Perfect. Yeah.
Things.
Not bad for me.
Oh,
Really
yeah.
not bad for me.
Yeah.
Really not bad for me. I will take it.
Starting off with some high walls, looks like you see that. Alright, so Eirik with a 27. Actually, I will start off with Iso. It kind of makes more sense since she's getting like a broader scope of the surroundings. You quickly realize, Iso, that as you're traversing through different parts of the area, kind of more thoroughly analyzing the scene here, trying to put different parts of ruined structures together to get a mental image of what was here before, kind of like architecturally recreating a blueprint of how this structure or settlement or potentially even village might have looked like. And that is when you quickly realize that this was a larger settlement. This isn't just a single building. This isn't just, a small hut or a, what's it called? An outskirts city town with 4 or 5 houses. No, this was a larger settlement that housed many, many people. The reason why it's difficult to see, obviously, is because everything is so integrated into the nature, deliberately so that they were built as part of the nature, which makes you realize that Fae have most definitely built these structures. This wasn't something built by, Chaldean kind, as we like to say. So things were built out of the natural environment with respect to the natural environment. However, you can see that some houses are like oddly placed far away, where you can see that two halves of a building are placed in a unusual distance from each other, which is where you realize that probably through shifting of the earth and just because the Fae itself is very alive, you gain the sense that this is a large settlement and it has been kind of reshaped just by how the surrounding moves. Very similar to like tectonic movements on, you know, Chaldeas. Things seem to be shifting here, and you are very much aware that the soil in itself does tend to move, and if it's not taken care of or there's not like routine checkups, you know, they can spread apart. And that's how you can actually see that there are like vast different areas in this settlement that have been like slowly starting to drift apart and just kind of getting secluded and isolated. And you're in one area of this, but you can see several other spots that kind of branch out. That's how you kind of find out, oh, this once was a larger settlement and city. And you do see different houses, some that seemed like storehouses where you can see a lot of broken crates and other things where goods were probably held within. You can see different parts that looked like buildings that, you know, were houses, homes. You can see what might have been furniture used for a table, broken pieces of decoration that, you know, have fallen apart or have integrated so much into nature where you can't make out any details. You do find some wooden cutlery, spoons, knives and stuff like that that have also kind of grown into pieces of the bark or the ground itself. Some even have just turned into trees, where you can see kind of a small sapling, the end of which is the forks of, well, a fork. So that's also very interesting. And yeah, you can even see now that some buildings have been just kind of carried up with a tree, and it's just kind of grown up as if the base itself was lifted by a tree that grew here and now is half in the air. And yeah, so that is what you grasp as well as you kind of just analyze your surroundings. And I guess you're taking a closer look at things, kind of digging through different areas, trying to look for potentially anything shiny, because you assume that is what the kobold was eyeing. You eventually do. You kind of go through the ground, rummage through, kind of put some barks and leaves away, and you can see close to one of the collapsed structures you can see a crumbled wall. Roots were holding larger stones together, but some of the roots have kind of decayed and broken off. And as you kind of put some of these stones aside, you see something shining, something reflecting. And as you brush it aside, you can see something that's covered in dirt. You can see interlocking rings of some sort of metal alloy. And as you kind of brush it off and take it out, you can very clearly see that it's a piece of chainmail that you kind of unearth out there. And it's a very sleek design. Definitely doesn't seem to be iron, because as you pick it out, you kind of brush it off, you can feel the extreme light weight of this piece of equipment. And not only that, but the make itself, you as someone who crafts goods, who has experience with armories, this seems to be of excellent make. Very much designed to fit to a body, to allow them to move, and to allow them to not be encumbered by the weight of classical chainmail. And you saw some other elves, Azathia and the Firescorn elves, they're very lanky, very skinny. They don't have the capacity to wear heavy chains. And that's how you realize, oh, they use some different alloy that seems to be extremely lightweight. Yeah.
That's a good start.
That's a great start.
I'm gonna pick it up and kind of get a sense, like, does it feel alive in any way?
It's strange. You can make an insight check.
Insight check the armor.
Wow, wow.
Nice.
3 natural 19s within the last 5 rolls. That's crazy. Yeah, so you now realize a couple of things. Your understanding of magic has now increased tremendously. That, seeing the trees and inorganic parts of this realm being alive, everything having a sort of presence. You don't directly feel that. You don't feel any emotions coming from this chamber specifically. However, you still sense something, but you're smart enough to ascertain that you've now read enough studies about different philosophical concepts about annihilation field, and that anything magical in itself is somewhat part of a soul. Maybe not a complete soul, but it's something. If something's magical, it has the power to influence its environment, thus can be to some degree considered to have a soul. It's like when you question, when is something alive? Is bacteria alive? Is a virus alive? That's kind of a very similar vibe that you're getting here. And because in the Fae, this feeling is amplified, is what you get. So what you immediately ascertain is this is definitely there's a magical effect on this piece of equipment, which gives you the impression that it might have some sort of soul, but just because you're in the Fae world, it gives you this feeling. But you understand innately there is no being or consciousness inside of this chainmail. It is a mere consequence of magic being present within the chainmail itself.
Great. Cool. And how big was this? So, like, it's not like a full, like, garment or anything.
It seems to be a chest piece, something splint mail or like chain mail that you can put over your torso is what it seems like.
Oh. Okay, cool. I'll just stuff it into my backpack right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fairly heavy duty, I guess. Like, if the kobolds were running around looking for stuff like this, then could have an army of armored kobolds.
Oh, you muted. It's good.
Which sounds scary when you say it like that.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed. An army of elven armored or fey armored kobolds.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that's like immediately evident lying around here, so either they've been here before and they've picked everything they can find, or just there's nothing of interest really.
It's probably been looted by every living creature.
Yeah.
Or almost.
Do we know anything about kobolds as a whole? Like, how big are their groups, packs? Where do they live? Like,
you can make a nature history check if one of you wants to like try to remember.
I'll try to remember with you. I'll go with nature, 'cause I'm good at nature.
what the fuck?
Man.
Hold on, look at this.
Well, what's going on? It's a natural 17 and a natural 18.
I'm gonna be afraid to roll because
Yeah.
you guys are just taking all the good rolls. All good.
Wow.
They're all gone now.
Yeah, they've all been taken. Damn.
I have never rolled this good at the start of a game.
Yeah,
Ever.
that's crazy.
It's lucky we're just walking around doing nothing important.
Yep.
Yeah, learning about kobolds. That's why you need these high rolls.
I just wasted a natural 18 plus 13 on do I know about kobolds?
Well, so yeah, you both would be very familiar to kobolds because kobolds obviously do exist in Chaldeus. They are not like too unfamiliar, though they have become a somewhat secluded rare sight in your hometown. What you know about kobolds is the information you get was more from how much the Holy Religions hates them, since, you know, they're related to dragons. And very specifically, you know, there are a lot of documentations about them that state that you have to definitely always alarm your local Holy Religions priest or whatever if a kobold band has been seen, so they can be taken care of, because they are seen as scavengers, thieves, and just people that, you know, can become a potential danger. Though both of you would know, they aren't that dangerous. They, from your studies of old draconic things, since both of you have done a tremendous amount of studies into draconic history, is you would know that kobolds are servants of dragons, and their entire purpose is to serve a dragon. That's what they do. And that's how you can connect two of these dots. Why the Holy Legionnaires really hates them is because kobolds have the tendency and the innate ability and also will to find the closest dragon. They have kind of like a spidey sense to where a dragon is. So if there's a kobold band, there's always the fear from the Holy Religious side that there might also be a dragon there, which is why they say, oh, you have to tell us where kobold is, because if the dragons haven't went extinct, that's a big danger, and we will take care of it. And so there's always rumors and legends and stories going around if a kobold band has been seen in the area, which in nowadays doesn't happen at all. It's extremely rare to see them, since the Holy Legionnaires basically, during the days the angels cried, you know, not only did they wipe out all the tieflings and the dragonborn, they also tried to wipe out all the kobolds, since they are seen in the same vein as there. So what you would know is kobolds are usually only seen, or most notably seen, in the presence of most likely a dragon, because they always go towards a dragon. So if they're traveling to a dragon, and they just have this innate sense inside of them that allows them to kind of track where the closest dragon would be, and then they travel towards them. To that extent, they aren't really a threat to most humankind. They only do the wishes of the dragon they serve. They steal a lot of things because they want to present the dragon with treasures, so the dragon likes them. They are like the perfect minion for dragons, because they literally do everything for them, and they're known to be quite cunning and scheming in order to accomplish these goals. But in virtue, they're like the opposite of what a dragon actually is. They're not brave. They're extremely cowardice. If confronted, they will most likely run away if they believe they can be harmed in any way, sense or form. They only want to get riches and then run away and then bring it back to their dragon to please them. That's their entire nature.
Well, unless there's like 1,000 of them, I think we're strong enough, probably, to be able to handle them.
Yeah. I'm also thinking if we start having an issue with them, I can just turn into a dragon and tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, but that's just gonna make them want to come towards you
Bring
more?
us stuff. Bring us stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. Yes. That could, I mean, if we, I'm not saying we'll do that, because I don't think it would be nice to them to do that. But if they become annoying, we can turn it to our advantage.
That's a good point.
Yes.
To that also point, that means there's probably a dragon around somewhere.
Maybe there was one, maybe there is one. But we've only seen one kobold so far. You've seen only one kobold so far. We haven't seen a band of them. So he might be a loner trying to find his tribe as well. There's like a few possibilities here. Yeah. But yes, we should keep in mind that there is the possibility that a dragon might be around. Or there was a dragon. I would not be surprised if we found bones.
Is there... I mean... I was gonna say what the connection between the Drydalis court and dragons are, but...
They were welcomed into Chaldeas by them. So
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if at some point they invited dragons to the Feywild. I don't think I've ever looked up if it happened the other way. So,
Well, you can make a history check, because
history check?
yeah,
Okay.
19. Well, there were definitely dragons in the Feywild. I mean, you literally are attuned to a dragon of the Feywild. You went to a shrine
Right.
of Mirvurax.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so just to kind of fuel up that memory tank, Silvus specifically was, the dominator of nature, was very much attuned to the Feywild. He kept that bridge open on this continent, it seems like. And so a lot of his dragons or his, children were, not only attuned to the natural nature on the plane, but also seems to have a great attunement towards the Feywild itself. And you got that sense when you met the shrine for Mirvurax that he had attendants tending towards the Feywild.
I guess we can just keep wandering around the area and look for more chainmail.
Well,
or
I
other things.
kind of, it's gonna sound very stupid, but also not really. I kind of want to play archaeologist and bring back like pieces of vases or silverware or tableware or like anything from the Feywild back to Chaldeas, and perhaps either give it to Ziphagus to put into the archives, or we keep it for when we have our own place so that we have like a piece of history, I guess.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to, so I guess,
We've got the space, and this is probably where we're gonna find the most of it. So,
I have saddlebags. Oh no, I left them. I left them on the other side, right? But I mean, I have my bag of holding.
yeah, I've got the hole too. So,
It's almost filled to the brim with incense.
almost. But little knickknacks and stuff we find is gonna,
Yeah.
It'd be nice if
Only
Fiera got rid of that.
250 gold worth now. Only
Yeah.
250 gold.
It is.
Still, like,
It's half filled. It's half filled because you had like 800 gold worth, I believe, initially.
Oh, I got to
900?
1,000.
Oh yeah. So 250 is like
Something like
one
that.
crate is still there, but there's some
there's
space.
still tons of room in there for other things now.
Exactly, yeah.
There's a lot of giggles behind me, so I'm sorry if it picks up sometimes, but they're having fun, so
That's good. We all like to have fun.
it's story time right now.
How much time do you think we should give Fiera to do her stuff before we go back and check on her?
I would say perhaps sorry. I don't want to give her too much time, but at the same time, this is the first time that she's been by herself for a while, and I think she needs to do some self-discovery. I feel like this place has opened some things for her, so I do want to kind of leave her some space. but I also kind of want to maybe we could spend a few hours here and then circle back, make sure that she's all right, and see like if she needs more time or if we can keep
Right.
walking around,
Yeah.
see where she's at.
Fine by me. Let's just
Sweet.
try not to get ambushed by kobolds, and we're good.
Again, I can turn into a dragon if we need to.
So yeah, we'll spend
Okay.
2 or 3 hours kind of walking through the ruins and looking for anything non-Fae related, or you know,
Yeah.
maybe stuff that isn't living.
Yeah. All right. Then, as you do that, we'll quickly switch over to Fiera and see what she is up to after you come out of your time dilation.
Yeah, so I just spent 5 days in my body. Kind of had a good think. My first instinct is I should relax. So I'll spend like 10 minutes, I think it would take. I just start walking around, probably talking to grass. Take a breath before I'm ready to go back into work mode. Is Ezafern here?
Yes, he's
Hanging out?
currently
Okay.
still here.
Okay. So I'll go approach him with whatever he's doing, and excuse me, I was wondering if you could help me with a couple tasks. I probably shouldn't be venturing on my own.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. I mean, you helped me already. So I can most definitely repay the favor. What is it that you would like to do?
Well, for the first one, I'll kind of look around for glamour and poof him away. Well, actually, I don't know where he poofs away if I poof him in the Fae, but I'll poof him right next to me.
Hello.
Wonderful. Right, so I need to kind of think tank something here. I grab out my work notebook, I kind of open up the fresh page. So dragons, that is the subject for today. I'm trying to understand. Mostly how they work with their children and hierarchy. Are you aware of Basilius Valkyrian, Ezafern? Because I kind of like write that on top of the page.
Yeah, he's like, I've believed I have heard about it in passing, but I wouldn't say I'm quite familiar with the term.
Well, that's fine. Essentially, he's a creator. I believe he created most, if not all, of the dragons. He actually has a twin, I believe, Shivroth, the immortal time drake.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Of course, yes. So I swore an oath to both of them. I would be his sword and shield, and I'd be her eyes, as you do.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Yes, so under Basilius, there are 3 Dracolith gods. There is Bahamut, and he is the father of the metallic dragons. I believe he was bestowed that by Basilius. And then there is Tiamat. She is the queen, or mother, of the chromatic dragons. But then there's a third, Sardior. I know nothing about. So my question is, as a friend, do you know where the Fey dragons fit in here?
Well, I have a bit of knowledge about the bit of the dragons that existed inside of the Fae, since it was they who allowed my people, when they traveled here, to enter the Feywild a long time ago when we migrated here.
Right. Yes, I remember that.
And I believe there was
a distinction between different types of dragons a long time ago, as you have mentioned, the chromatic and the metallic dragons, but I believe they have changed a lot since the initial creation.
That makes sense.
Those terms were used for pure breeds.
So over time, there's probably been a mixture.
Yeah, because the dominators, as I have learned, are also
Right.
not categorized in either.
Yeah, they're unique. When I talked to them, they seemed more. They were the elements themselves. When I talked to Igneous, they were a ball of flame. When I talked to, oh boy, I should remember the storm one. You would think, Brain.
Kai is disappointed.
I'll find it in half a second. Tempestus, wow, yeah. When I talked to Tempestus, they were a literal storm. But they were also draconic in nature still.
Yes, they, from what I've learned, is they're, imbued with the essence of the elements, and as such preserve them and can manipulate them. But I do believe, yes, they're still draconic in some nature, though I think there's a heavy link between the natural elements and dragons, since they use them always to some degree.
Oh, that makes sense. But then the Fey dragons, as kind of Izrael we've seen from her, are essentially wooden. So does that mean that's just another change for them? They're not originally from the Fae. They almost like grew an attunement for the Fae and changed as thus?
Not quite. It's a little bit different. I believe there's also a difference between the dragons that were, I guess, created or born from the dominators themselves. These are the dragons that we are more accustomed to, I believe. They are the ones that have the different elemental attunements that have changed over many, many years. They are the ones that don't belong to the classical descriptions of the dragons that once were loyal to the greater pantheon, the purebreds, as I have been told at least.
Interesting.
Because
So in that sense, I've probably never met or seen a pure dragon.
as far as I'm concerned, yes. Well, I definitely haven't. I think most of us after the Angelic War didn't have the opportunity to see a dragon, since a lot of them died.
Right. Interesting. Is there any sort of famous Fey dragon I should be looking into?
Well, I'm pretty sure you're...
I mean, Mulverix, or oh boy.
Mirvarax,
Azrael's dragon.
Yes.
Milverex, thank you, yes. Accents.
Yes, it's always difficult. Well, the most famous one you are definitely aware of, the Sylvus, Dominator of Nature.
Ah, yes. Well, yes, unfortunate of their passing.
I don't know of many draconic names. I only know that the
that Mirvorax was one that was specifically responsible to oversee this portion of the Feywild, and that he and his followers during the war decided to leave the Feywild in order to help with the war effort. And I believe many of the dragons did so as well. That is why we don't see many dragons, or don't see any dragons at all who stay here. But he was definitely the most prominent one.
I see. And you probably haven't heard anything about who Sardior might have been the, I don't know, head of.
I unfortunately cannot say that I have heard of this name before. No, unfortunately not. But this might not be entirely draconic. And this might now go more into the realm of Fae, but Reptilias also adorns the head of a dragon and also is seen in relationship as one of many of the crossbreeds between, well, the more divine entities.
Interesting. Let's see, if Israel told me right, the Herald of Patience and Logic, one of the Heralds of the Beasts, a Scion.
Yes.
That would fit.
So, many of the heralds embody the greater spectrum of, well, their devoted type. So, Reptilius was very often depicted with 3 heads, one of which was drake-like, while the other one was a lizard, and the last of which was, strangely enough, a human, to show its innate Fey attunement.
Oh boy. Interesting.
Well, it's more like a snake head with a human face on top of it, but, you know, there is a human, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, one day I hope to meet them. Any idea where the heralds are? I heard they were more or less lost as well.
You can see that his face suddenly washes with like a very strong expression of what's the word? Like concern slash just a little bit of I guess denial is a word that can describe it.
Right. Well, I'll add them to my list to help find.
I will roll a d20. If I roll a 15 or higher, he will say something. 17. Kind of looks you into the eyes, and kind of looks onto the ground, and then looks up into the sky.
Well, last I have heard is they were the first ones to perish.
Oh. Well, that is quite difficult.
One part of me still holds on to the hope that this is not true, but that is a conflict of interest going inside of myself right now. Whether I must trust the words of my ancestors or whether I want to remain true to the hope that I carry inside of myself.
What do you think? How could I phrase this? There's 4 creators from what I've learned. I grew up being taught there was one. And that there's a certain way, a certain path. Things are this way. I found out it was completely wrong. Wool over my eyes. And talking to the gods as I have, I've learned one thing. I should have faith in them. They know more than we ever could. And they care about us.
That is a valiant belief, a virtue I hold dear to myself as well. I also put my faith into those who have brought prosperity to us for such a long time, even though we have not witnessed it yet. They may still be able to do it again, and so I too would like to believe that with their aid and with their trust, we can change the world again.
Oh, of course. Well, to that end, I need to learn about Tiamat a bit more. I was hoping, well, actually, first, Glamour, any insights into the hierarchy of dragons and Fey dragons and where they might fit in here?
So first comes me and then everybody else. I think that's all that needs to be said.
You know, given enough time, you can probably grow into a different being than an ocelot. Different body, a different, soul. Souls change.
Why would I ever change when I already have adapted the perfect shape? I mean, kind of makes a couple of twirls.
Right. Wonderful. As a fern, I need incense. I happen to have left it all with my friend, but I imagine we can find. I'd like permission. You know, if we can find something I can burn and have their permission, let them know that they're helping, you know, rediscover history.
I think beings right now are a little bit sensitive towards the topic of getting burned. So that might be a hard bargain to run, but I can call your friends if they have the materials you need.
Well, I have something else I could use. No, it's fine. I'll just go do it over here.
All right.
Kind of lose concern towards you once again.
Of course. I'll go find a place to sit down. And I'll take out one of the netherite torment crystals. Because I feel horrible holding on to 5 souls that are being tortured constantly. And I kind of am praying that this gives them a release. And especially, you know, I'm using it for good, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going to set up legend lore, and I'm going to try to use this as the component to learn about Tiamat.
Alrighty.
I don't think there's a roll or anything.
No, there's no roll. It just gets consumed.
Yeah, you sit down, you take out the crystal of infinite torment, and holding it is just uncomfortable. You get washed over with the scents and the screams of those trapped within this very crystal, the souls that have materialized into a physical, manifested object of pain. And you...
I do know that when Well, we were told essentially when people die, their souls may come here and turn into life, right? That's kind of what we were told.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. I don't know how to mess with souls. Never mind. I'm not going to try anything crazy. Okay. That's good. Yes. I focused.
Yeah, you just kind of focus down, so to ignore the screams and the shouts, the pain and the agony and the despair and all the other bad words I could list right now that kind of wash over you. Instead, you focus on trying to gain a connection with... Like, what are you casting Legend on?
Yeah, Tiamat, the queen, I guess the Dracolith, queen of chromatic dragons.
Indeed, you do. And as you kind of focus on, in a weird sense, there is a rhythmic and almost cathartic resonance that comes as you try to gain knowledge from an entity trapped within the very pit that these souls are currently screaming from. And for that reason, this consumption of this material component goes quite easily, and you can feel this kind of crystal melt inside of your hand and go inside of your skin and your body as you kind of suffuse yourself with the souls of these people, basically using them up and burning their very souls to use it as magic to connect there. And you become acutely aware that you have killed whatever souls are inside of here, but at least putting an end to the infinite torment and pain, and that they aren't just in this endless cycle of torture. So there's relief, but not in maybe the most happiest of way, as their souls gets broken apart, their existence drifts away and gets burned up instead of one of these trees, is what you also realize, since the very magic is getting drawn out of the souls of these people. And as you do so, you see once again how your mind is kind of getting pulled back into the strands of magic that are attuned to this concept, this word of Tiamat. And as it does so, you follow it around, you focus your mind, and basically this entire weave starts interlocking with each other, creating a web of images that slowly but surely presents itself in front of you. This web starts to coalesce an image of a spark of divine light that you see in front. You can see it illuminates a vast scape of pure black darkness that seems to be ever growing and ever encompassing, trying to consume this very fragment of divine light. But you can see in this dome that gets created by the light illuminates the ground. On the ground you can see a vast scape of small, insignificant, grey, humanoidish figures that stand at the edge between darkness and light. And they are kind of the middle ground, creating a border between these two factions. And then you can see that the radiant light breaks a portion of itself off, and it flies out. And you can see that it does so in many different ways. You can see small fragments flying down, basically floating towards this huge scape of insignificant small grey figures standing at the border of darkness and light. And as this one fragment that your vision focuses on kind of touches the ground, it gets molded, it shapes 5 valiant, great, majestic heads of draconic kind spring into existence, molded in the very spitting image of the large light that gave it life. And you can see the very form of a 5-headed draconic entity, large wings that illuminate, and blessed, made out of the very fragment of divinity itself.
and it lands in this gray mass. And you can see as its feet touches the ground, the gray figures all start to slowly gain a lighter shade of gray, being illuminated by the light surrounding them, getting guided by the beings that have been created by this large fragment of divinity. And together they start to march against the encroaching darkness that was surrounding them. And a war ensues. You can see that this entity, blessed with 5 heads, breathing elemental magics as pure and raw as you can find them within Chaldeus itself. They combat, they war, and with a queen at their liege, these grey, insignificant figures suddenly gain purpose. Purpose through guidance, through divine guidance. And through this guidance, they are victorious in their war against this encroaching darkness. And soon enough, you can see that the black gets repelled, the landscape gets taken over by this lighter shade of grey that is being guided by the large, luminous white form you see as Tiamat. And peace reigns after the victory. For many, many years, centuries pass with this head, 5 in fact, loyal and valiant and faithful, serving as a beacon and icon to these other ones who look up to it. You can see that this motherly figure gives birth to more servants, to people, to beings, to dragons, whose entire purpose is to also guide those who are born without guidance, and to teach them the ways of light, to teach them faith. And so they do for many, many centuries more. But then suddenly, after her many, many years of reign with peace, you can see that the mind of this 5-headed entity starts to get shrouded in darkness as words of false truths of heretic nature pierces her ears and starts to change and shape her. Her beliefs start to mold into that of the words that were told to her. Her faithfulness wanes, her trust crumbles, and her loyalty breaks. And all that is left is an unsatiating greed to listen only to the words that have been told to her by the first sinners who themselves have committed the very first sin, to go against the light, to preach a different loyalty, one that doesn't adhere to the creators. And so, once a valiant queen that guided the insignificant souls, the ones who weren't guided themselves, she now starts to corrupt those around her, turning these light grey souls into dark grey ones. And thus, once again, she goes into war, but this time she is the darkness herself, and with her, an army of dark grey insignificant souls that fight against the very creators themselves, for a purpose that you do not know, for a truth she has accepted that you do not know. However, in her war, you can see that she herself was bested by a different being that was created during this war of the first sin. A different draconic figure, Sadior, who was created as means to defeat the very dragon that once guided the people. And with the help of Velk Valhalla, 5 divine instruments were created to put her heads to sleep. And as Sadior encased her in a prison of gemstones, that gave Valhalla enough time to craft these instruments and to lull her to sleep. And thus, her slumbering body was put into the hells to forever eternally rest there, to never be awoken again. And that's where your vision stops and you are brought back.
Ooh, that was a long movie.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
You hear small applause, but it's glamour.
Yeah, I guess I'll start sharing images with him just to, I don't know, not be the only one who knows all this stuff.
And what am I supposed to do with this now? Make clothes? Actually, that's a pretty good idea. I mean, how would
That never hurts. Interesting. I guess I need to figure out what to do with this. Do we find Sardaor after closing the gateway? Oh boy. Do I even share this with the others? Closing the gateway is already quite a feat, but putting a god back to sleep, finding another lost Dracolith god. Or do we help her?
How in the hell literally is that an option that crosses your mind?
Okay, look. They could have just destroyed her, Glamour, or found a way to kill her, but instead they put her asleep. Everyone they sent to hell, they sent there for atonement. Not to kill. Is there a path where we can bring her back towards the light and clear her mind of the darkness that was given to her by the sinners?
Oh, well, one intelligence check for Glamour.
Okay, now. It's like, you're crazy? If I had the means to cuff you and put you into an infinite sleep and put you in hell, I would. You're going crazy.
If you had that power, then you could just fix this yourself.
I mean, not to brag, but maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I will come clean. I don't have that kind of power.
Good to know. Okay, so for my next idea, I probably need to think this over. So the moon.
How is this conversation going there? How?
The Divine Gate. The craters of Bahamut are behind the Divine Gate, but it's been shattered. What if there's a way for me to not go through it, but just connect a crystal call, a message spell?
Oh,
right,
okay. I see.
You know, knock on the door and see if anyone's there to listen.
I mean, I don't know how you're gonna knock on a broken door. That seems...
I mean...
Okay, yeah, I guess that's...
You find a piece and then you knock, I mean... And this is as big as the moon, so it's hard to miss.
Oh, alright, okay. Yeah, well... Doing, like... Okay, alright. You know, I'm a skeptic in nature, especially when it comes to whatever the hell you throw at me at this moment, the last couple of hours. But you know, I'm trying to like think here at the moment. You know, the moon is broken, which, by the way, I'm still trying to process. All right, I loved my late night strolls out in the alleyways, looking up, seeing a full bright moon, and now that doesn't exist anymore.
Fake.
That's crazy, alright? I'm sad. I'm deeply traumatized. A lot of my closings have been inspired by these night walks.
Okay, well, do you have a better idea of where I can learn about Sardaor? Where they are? Where they ended up? If they're the one that defeated Tiamat, then they're the best way for us to defeat her again.
Yeah, but did he get help?
Well, yes, this Phil Sahala fellow.
So, as per your equation you're building it, wouldn't we require both?
I could probably figure out how to use the instrument. The gemstones.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess that's a good point. The instruments are already there. Are you like proficient in music?
One of me is.
Oh, great. Yeah. That's where shit just goes down the rails, huh? I mean, is there also a place where the moon isn't broken? Maybe you can just go there and then you can, pick up the phone.
Oh. Oh. That's interesting.
By the way, I haven't thought about this, but now that I'm like thinking about this, who destroyed the moon? Was it you? Was it one of your past selves? Do I have to beat you up?
No, none of us would have been alive for that.
I don't know. You do time shit.
No, you're not wrong. Well, I don't think we could. No, because I kind of look down to my shadow. We're all in here. My shadow wouldn't have existed during that time.
Okay, but can you like figure out how the moon got destroyed? Maybe would that help us? Because I'm just thinking.
If I knew what the moon was called, as a friend, does the moon have a name? Right, it does, right?
Yeah, of course it does.
But like a name that's... It probably had many names, but it's a real name. What the creators would have called it.
Yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly, the name was Iris. That is...
IR. No, it's gonna be weird. Hold on. No, why? I don't know.
Put it in the chat right now. If you got it right, you get...
I already have inspiration. It's fine.
No, you get 10 temporary hit points.
E? It's E.
No.
Why is there an E?
That's Isol's guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. And we're gonna. Should I do easy or should I do hard? Okay. Okay, now I'll do something crazy then. We'll go way out there too.
Wow.
Look at it. Yeah, I was gonna say, look at it be so simple.
What the fuck were those guesses? Anyway, but fair. It's very fair. After Oswald, very fair.
Oh, Jesus God. Okay. Well, I guess I'll add that to the list for legend lore one day.
Well, my point, what I'm trying to say is, alright, because if you somehow manage to contact whatever's behind this broken wiffy-waffy moon gate, whatever the hell it is, that would make me believe the creators, the things that create, I guess, why wouldn't they contact us back? Because if you can contact them, they definitely are able to contact us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. How can I put this? Should I put in simple, or should I go complex here?
Simple, man. Simple. Come on.
Okay. There's a small hole, and they are very big.
Maybe I shouldn't have said simple. I'm thinking of so many different things right now, and that's not good. Alright, just give me time to process. And he kind of starts walking away, stands back on his hind legs, and puts his one hand to his chin and just starts to think. And while he does that, we'll quickly jump back over to Eirik and Isoel. Where somehow exploring runes is less crazy than just sitting and casting spells. But yeah, that's how Fiera is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you continue your exploration. Is there anything like specific areas you would like to look or things you want to pay attention to? Like I know, Greg, you said you want to look for objects specifically, not Fae.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to look for objects that are very specifically Fae. So either like tableware or like old candlesticks, or like when you hear on the news like, oh, we've just uncovered new like ruins of XYZ civilization, and we found bowls and like bowls and utensils or like ceramic pots or something. Like I'm looking specifically for those type of things. Like Iserel is putting her Dora the Explorer hat and she's looking for stuff.
Very well. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Then that would require an investigation check from both of you all.
A little more normal for me now.
Yeah, kind of went down, but Eric's fucking pushing that. Yeah, Eric's going crazy for some reason. He's like really throwing every piece of wood he sees in a different direction just to kind of touch earth is what he's doing. And maybe just fun to, just use your raw hands to look through stuff. That also has kind of a vibe that is low pressure, low expectations, just kind of searching for stuff. That seems to be fun at the moment. And while Iserel, you do find things. In fact, you find like a picture frame. There isn't a picture inside of it, but you do find like this very ornate frame. And once again, the frame seems to be somewhat alive. You can't read emotions in it, which is very, very sad. It doesn't talk, but it seems to be made out of Fey material, and was probably molded or carved or created or grown by a Fey entity that seems very reminiscent of the place around here. Was hanging on one of the walls. Yeah, you also managed to find a small, probably cereal bowl that has kind of grown a bit more. Grown in a sense that you can see like two branches that now come out of different sides of the bowl, and they have grown tiny leaves on it. Once again, you can read the emotion of the bowl, which is also sad, presumably because it hasn't been used in a while. Yeah, and those are like the two most notable things that seem of like archaeological interest to kind of, see culture and crafting for whoever lived here a long time ago.
Into the bag of holding.
Yeah. Eric was at 26. You kind of rummage around. You see that the area that you have spent the initial time looking through with Icefield as well, you're pretty confident that you've kind of went through most of it, and so you kind of start walking to one of these sections of the settlement that has, kind of departed or separated itself. And there you find in one of the broken building structures where you can still see like 3 of the 4 walls that this house had. You can see like a collapsed shelf, and as you're kind of rummaging around, obviously shelf might have, stuff on it that might not have been taken away, and you can also see that there was like a stone slab that was sitting above it, kind of shielding it from any other scrying people who would go away. Then as you kind of brush it to the side and put the shelf away and kind of go and sift through the dirt a bit, you find more tiny carved statues that all look a little bit different. You find one that kind of matches the one you have already found before, this strange salamander frog thingy, but you also find one that looks to be like a centaur but with like 8 legs, and has a vaguely mammothy head, is the best I can describe it. So once again, like a weird chimeran creature. And in fact, all of these weird statues seem to be like weird chimerian creatures. You can see one that seems to have a multi-winged, it has like a set of six, well, a set of 3 wings, which means 6 wings in total. And you can see one of the heads seems to be carved somewhat like a eagle. The other one seems to be a raven, but the middle one seems to be somewhat humanoidish. And then you also see one that is a mermaid that has, instead of only a fish bottom, also like tentacles coming out from the side, and a jellyfish hat is the best way I can describe that. And you find these carved statues that are very specifically not elven, but then amongst this bunch of just, weirdly carved statues, you also find a small stone where you can see that a small, colorful script, rune, or sigil has been kind of carved onto it. It's a very smooth stone. Let's pick it up. When you go to the beach and you find a stone and it's just like super smooth, and you're like, wow, this is a nice stone. You get that exact feeling. You're like, wow,
Yep.
that's a nice stone.
Cool. I'll pocket all the figurines that were there. Does it look like they're all made from the same material?
Yeah, vaguely, yeah. It seems to be made out of the same sort of wood.
Cool. I'll just pop it all into my bag and just keep looking, keep helping Isorel if anything comes up. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come through, and while you don't find any particular things of interest, like you see a lot of just broken stuff that has already kind of decayed or lost its prior shape, where you can't really make out what it is. Very often if you go archaeological digging, unless you spend like amounts of resources to try and study what this tiny crack of something was, it's hard to tell. But through your ventures here and, spending several hours just kind of combing through, you would eventually see in the distance, and the only reason why you can see it in the distance while you're investigating so thoroughly through the areas, there's like a small patchwork cobblestone walkway that is overgrown, but some of it still seems to be peering out from all this natural growth. And you kind of just look into the direction. There's a small clearing, and your passive perception is high enough that just peeking out of the canopy of the trees in the distance, you can see what seems to be like a fallen tower structure. So a rather large architectural thing that is leaning onto something. You can only see the tip of it, but you don't see any roof that might have fallen off. You can just see the outer perimeter walls of, once again, what seems to be a more slender and tall structure. And it's, maybe like 500 to 1,000 feet away. You can't quite tell because the dense brush of the Feywild is still kind of in front of you.
I'll absolutely tell Isorel that I saw that and point it out, and that seems like a new direction to go if we wanted to keep exploring.
Yeah, let's follow that, I guess. It's gonna keep us busy. And
Yeah.
I'm all for exploring more. We know so little about this place.
Let's go down that cobblestone path.
Yep, let's walk.
All right. Yeah, you walk down there, and during your trip, other thing you now also become aware of, Eirik, with now multiple high investigation checks. You've often seen like weird detached branches, which is a weird thing to say, just like long strips of wood that sometimes have like feather ends that kind of grows into multiple leaves, and then smaller branches that come out of it. It's like, it, for the lack of a better description, kind of looks like a wand, but very clearly isn't a wand. You picked some of them up, they don't seem magical in any way. And now you find one that still has the tip on the other end, which is a metal arrow. As you notice that this is an arrow, but once again, it kind of grew into a branch, seemingly. And you start to see like smaller signs of portions of these buildings that seem to have been defaced or deliberately destroyed or graffitied in certain ways. Because you now notice that there was a lack of any iconographies or symbols or stuff like that. And, you know, that's only crossing your mind now because obviously everything is so old and overgrown. You just assume that maybe through age and time things was just overgrown. But now you kind of see distinct marks on some of the walls as you're walking down this cobblestone road that have been very deliberately clawed away, broken, and then you see the remnants of pieces of what are arrows. You can now also see that there are certain portions in walls where there are holes which could have been created if something either punched through or shot through there. And you now see that it seems like this village didn't just undergo natural corrosion and then, you know, fell through time, but there was a deliberate attempt to destroy buildings that were here. How long ago that was, you aren't quite sure, but it definitely heavily contributed to the ruins being in the state that they are now.
Does it look... Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say, any of the arrows that I do find, if there are any that look relatively still intact, can I just take one and put it in my bag too?
Oh yeah, of course. And I think, since you are paying attention to that, all of them seem very Fey-make. None of them seem Chaldean-make is the word I will just use for it. So they all seem to have been made from materials you get from the Feywild. Can add a Fey arrow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, when we look at the damage that was done around, does it look like it was possibly kobold made, or does it look like it's something much bigger, or like trying to kind of I don't kind of analyze a little bit like the damage that's been done to see, like, is it Magla and his followers perhaps, or does it look more chaotic and kobold-like?
Yeah, I'll allow that to be a survival check, because, you know, also just looking for tracks and stuff like that can also aid. 26.
Because I'm good at survival.
Yeah, you don't see any scorch marks, or you know, things that would immediately point you towards Magla doing a thing, and you've been to where Magla has been, and everything was burnt, so you definitely don't assume it was his and his followers. Nor do you get the sense. Oh, the Feywild are tilting.
What happened there? Oh! I'm punching my cable.
Oh.
Okay. I'm kicking my cable. Oops. All right.
Yeah. After you see Skit, you see Iso stumble, falls, and it's like, oh. Picks herself back up. While she's like investigating these things. From the length of the arrows you have seen here, they seem to have been shot with definitely long bows, human size, and kobolds are small creatures. Once again, this would be extremely unlike kobolds. Unless a dragon would have commanded them to do this, they would never do this by themselves. And the artifacts of destruction left here seem at least as old as the ruins themselves. So, you know, hundreds of years, if not even more. You can occasionally see marks left behind that are a little bit fresher. These might have potentially come from kobolds just by them like scrapping through, looking through. But you do also
trying to loot or something.
Yeah. But you do occasionally also see marks scratched and kind of defaced with like sylvan slang and stuff like that. And it gets more and more as you get closer to this tower. But what I will also say with the survival checks, there are very clear portions where, now that you're paying attention to this, is where you only realize it, that, you know, there's like a large crumbled structure with a bunch of vines just kind of overgrowing it, kind of causing a net mesh holding, you know, a wall together. And you realize you have spells like this. This was probably spellcraft that conjured these vines and, you know, brought this wall to collapse. this wasn't just something that happened natural, because there's a very focused area of these vines, and the vines just stayed here. So the more you go into this, the more you start to realize that it most definitely, this attack, assault, or whatever was Fey in nature, but the assailees you aren't quite sure or can't really make out, since there are no very evident signs of who it could be, who they might have been.
So there was definitely some sort of assault, some sort of battle that happened there.
You get less the sense that it was like an actual battle where, blood was shed, because you found a lack of corpses or bones or anything that would suggest that people died here. You get more the sense that, either people were threatened, things were destroyed after maybe this was left. You get more of that sense that something was forced to be abandoned or was abandoned and then got defiled. And I would say at this point you would also get close enough where you all can see through the dense fey forest the kind of ground structure of this tower, and you can see there's like a small clearing, but not much, that now reveals this very crooked, heavily leaning tower structure. You can see it's actually bent. It goes very diagonally from the ground out. You can see it's uprooted a little bit, and then it breaks in the middle and then kind of almost goes straight up. And that was the portion you saw, Eirik, the top of which kind of looks over, and you can see just around this tower there's just a crumbled mess of different stones that have probably fallen when this was kind of shifted out of its natural place. You can see the tower itself, and here you can very clearly see, Isra, that the side of the tower there are these huge vines that kind of come out of the earth and then wrap around it, almost as if it got pulled out from the ground, and then many different portions cracked. You can see window holes, but also other holes of damage, and just different areas of the tower that have collapsed. And you kind of step to the front. You're now maybe like 60 feet away as you see this structure in front of you. It's about like maybe like 70 to 80 feet high, and that's why it kind of peers over the canopy.
Those vines, do they feel, when I look at them, since I kind of recognize that magic, do they feel more like an entangle spell or more like a grasping vine type of spell?
They feel like more like a amplified grasping vine kind of spell.
Okay, someone used something similar to grasping vine, but on steroids, basically.
Yeah, to crumble this tower,
Okay.
it seems, yeah.
Okay. So probably some pretty potent magic was used over here.
Yeah, seems like that.
Okay. So something or someone didn't want the people that were here to be here.
Yeah, it seems likely.
The big question is always why? And
Yeah.
we'll probably never exactly know.
Absolutely not. I also don't necessarily want to. I don't want to risk like reawakening something or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep, absolutely. We don't know what was here,
We could just cut our losses right now and go back and tell Esifern what we found and see if he's got any knowledge about the area. Like, did he know of any of this stuff that's out here?
I'm kind of still angry with Esifern for having lied to me and hidden things that I feel like are important.
Mm-hmm. That's
I-
fair.
I kind of don't want to run straight to him with even more questions right now.
Yeah.
Before I've had a talk with him. So I feel like we could probably still explore. Like, this damage looks hundreds of years old. I don't think whatever destroyed this place is going to attack us if we get closer. I don't think we are in immediate danger of something huge. I think right now the worst that could happen to us is a bunch of kobolds just run out of the bushes and we get on their path, right? Because even though they're not like the most dangerous things out there, a bunch of them can still hurt. I think they're
She stumbles.
as I get an earthquake. I'm gonna move myself a little so I stop kicking my cable. Yeah, I think we can, like, that tower thing kind of calls out to me. I kind of want to see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I
Unless
do
you
suggest
have-
maybe. Well, I was gonna say we should, if we want to explore the tower further, maybe we fly up there and look. I don't know if we need to be getting close to all the vines and, anything that might be hiding. If we just can get a better bird's eye view of the place, it might help.
I could turn into a bird and you can fly, so.
I just don't want to risk getting, like, trapped or having things, move and grab onto us.
How far away are we from the vines?
Like around
You would
60
say?
feet.
60 feet or so? Okay. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer, and if I see anything moving, I'm gonna turn into a bird and fly away.
Sure.
I just want to see how active they are, if they are reactive, or if they're just there.
Great.
So I'll get closer to about 30 feet from the vines.
Alright. As you slowly step your way closer, you kind of leave the immediate vicinity of the forest itself and kind of step into the open. As you get to around 30 feet, nothing seems to happen. You look around. The vines don't move. Only the usual weird face stuff happens around you that you've somewhat got accustomed to now. But the vines themselves don't seem to be reacting in any unexpected way.
Okay. I will get my staff out, and it's not a huge reach, but I'm gonna start walking towards it, and once I have, like, enough reach from my staff, I'm going to kind of lightly tap the vines with my staff and remove it to see if that's going to make anything move at all.
Alright. Then as you approach even further until you can get into reach with the staff, you slowly extend it as you kind of pull up to try and hit it. So we're going to take our break. As I need a pee. Haha, gotcha. Alright, we'll see you guys in a quick second to see if Heuser gets crushed by a tower. Bye. And we are back. So, Israel, you bonk the large vine with your staff, and as soon as it touches the vine, absolutely nothing happens. And you retrieve your staff, feeling safer.
All right.
I guess Israel just stands there.
Now I would look at Eirik and be like, I think we're safe to walk there. I don't think those vines are going to be of any threat to us.
That one specifically, maybe not. And I'm gonna fly.
Alright, Eirik just starts drifting up into the air.
How tall-ish is the tower thing?
It's like 80 feet at its very peak, but you know, it's slanted. So it's,
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna walk around to try to find an entrance or a hole in the wall that I can walk into the tower. And I will send a message to Eirik, because he's within 120 feet of me. And I'll say, you start from the top, I start from the bottom, and we meet in the middle.
Sure.
Indeed.
Yell if you need help.
I'm not letting her out of my sight.
Yeah, as you kind of fly up, you have a bird's eye view, and you can see that he starts to walk around. And yeah, it doesn't take long for you to see Israel that on the other end there is indeed the entrance that is, you know, a little bit skewed, much like your camera was a few moments ago, but it seems to be open. There is a door, but it's, you know, half broken and kind of just leaning against the outside, and it's just kind of half jammed into the floor itself. The door itself is completely open, though, you know, a little bit of darkness is inside, but darkness gets kind of repelled by tiny bits of luminous light of just tiny mushrooms that just seem to be dancing in one corner of the room of this tower, which you have seen many dancing mushrooms in the Feywild. That seems to be quite common. And yeah, would you step inside?
Yes.
Then from thereafter, Eirik, you do not have any visual on Israel as you see her start to...
Ooh. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, Israel, as you step inside, and you just hear a whooshing Eirik behind you, trying to get to you as fast as possible. The first thing you see is a dark room that is like about 10 feet in radius, so 20 feet diameter, but you can see the portion that you're walking on, everything is obviously slanted, that a lot of things have crumbled to the side of the wall that is lowest towards the ground. The floor itself seems to be broken in various parts. Roots seem to have dug their way through what was a wooden board that was the floor. You can also see a lot of, once again, picture frames. There was no pictures inside of them. In fact, instead you can see a lot of them. There's like either deliberately broken pieces, as if the picture frames were like taken and broken, fractured and cracked. And then sometimes you do see like a very old decayed piece of parchment that has been torn to shreds or has charcoal edges suggesting that it was burnt. And the other thing you see is a broken, decrepit, but somewhat intact staircase that kind of seems to be leading, once again, at an angle up to what seems to be a second floor, after which there is a ceiling from which you cannot see what's beyond that other than the small hole that you would pass through if you go up the staircase.
Did we keep going up?
Can I collect the scraps of parchment that we just saw?
You can indeed.
Yeah, I guess forward until something piques our interest.
Okay, who leads the way, I guess?
I will be up front.
Very well. And you kind of somewhat haphazardly climb onto the staircase and start kind of somewhat like you have to go like on all fours to like properly and stably walk up these stairs, but it's no problem at all.
Yeah.
As you reach the top, going towards the second floor, you can immediately see that this room is heavily obscured by these large vines that seem to have cracked through the sides of the walls, and you can see a lot of them entangling around the structure itself, some of them piercing through the stone wall. You can see a couple of tables that are smashed onto the now leaning tower side, and you can also see the very obvious tilt as the upper portion seems to be at a different angle than the lower portion. And you can once again see another staircase, but this time it's broken because of this tilt, and then there's a bit of a gap before it leads to the what seems to be second/third floor of this tower. And you can see the light of day going through, suggesting that the tower itself doesn't have a roof, but something spilling through. As you're kind of stepping inside of this room, Eric, you now start to hear a couple of sounds coming from the floor above you that sounds a bit like kind of breaking and creaking branches, almost like a
I'm gonna stop by Sorel. I'm gonna direct her to the sounds that I'm hearing. Okay, doesn't necessarily sound like kobolds to me. It sounds like the plants are it just sounds more alive than the kobolds would be, if that makes sense.
The vines are probably alive, yes, and kind of moving and taking their place. I mean, I'm gonna go up to a vine and kind of touch it lightly with my hand and ask to it in Sylvan. Well, I'll say, hello there. We're simple explorers just marveling in this tower. Is it safe for us to go upstairs, or is there any dangers?
make a persuasion check.
Okay.
It stings every time.
Yeah, it hurts. It would have been a freaking 17 instead, but no, it has to be a 13. Yeah.
Yeah, you get like a response, and you hear the vine kind of say and talk back. It's like, well, let me see. Let me think for a moment.
This is no marvel, this is death.
Oh. We're just curious about what's around here. That's all. We don't want to intrude. If it's dangerous for us to go upstairs, we won't go.
Pah, not dangerous. You'll just find more dirt up there.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll say what the vine has said to me to Eirik.
Dirt.
Yes. So it's probably...
living dirt that might consume us, right? Yeah.
No, they're probably talking about the structure itself, the cobblestones. Probably saying that it's just more cobblestones upstairs.
Sure. I'm totally convinced.
Meanwhile,
Sorry.
Eirik is having an allergy fit in the
Yep.
middle of the room.
Yeah, it's allergic against vines.
Oh. After you still.
All right. Let's keep going.
Alright, then you kind of step towards the other staircase, start walking up. Since you can just fly, you can just kind of somewhat pick up Icewear to bring her to the gap portion to try and ascend to the 3rd floor and seemingly last floor as you slowly scope through the hole. You can see the clearing sky above you, which is, littered with a weird, strange scape of clouds and just space.
Interesting question.
Yes.
Looking at the sky through the tower, is it the same sky that was outside the tower?
Yes, it still seems to be the same sky. But good looking out. Strange things do happen. And as you kind of, place Icewell back onto the stairs to walk the couple of steps yourselves, you all start to walk into the last platform. That is once again at a slight angle, not too much. You can still stand on the floor without too much of a problem. And you can very clearly see on the other side, there's this like big bramble of branches that seem to be like almost creating this net that is spun around the side of the wall, almost as if it's like hanging and hooking onto it, but connecting in several portions and points, and attaches to the side of a body of a humanoidish figure that seems to be immediately connected there. And you can see that half of this humanoidish body is also kind of entangled and consumed by these branches. The left side, particularly the face, looks Eladrin in nature, very pointy nose, extremely long ears, but its entire body is kind of morphed and somewhat merged with this wood. You can see a lot of thorns coming out of it, and it has a very strong red and dark oak wood coloration, and it seems to be like somewhat hunkered down, kneeling towards it and occasionally moving. You can see the left arm that isn't attached to the wall because its right arm doesn't exist and is instead, connected to this strange net. It is kind of like putting stones just together in some sort of formation, and it kind of quickly whips its head towards you as you kind of come up here and says in Sylvan, which you both understand, or Eirik, you don't understand, right? No. Eirik, you don't understand, but he kind of looks over and says,
"Who goes there?"
Hello. My name is Isarel.
And what do you want?
My companion and I were just exploring. I'm very sorry to intrude. Is this your domain?
Domain is a fancy word.
Is it your house? Is this where you live?
Yes, it is my house.
I'm very sorry to intrude. We were not aware someone lived here.
You can see he kind of moves a bit, but every time he moves, you can see that this strange contraption of bark and branches always kind of tugs at his arm, and then you can hear this weird sound that you've been hearing, Eirik, this almost twisting his body, almost as if it's like pulling him into the wall, and you can see him kind of scrunch and kind of congeal a bit with every movement that's happening. It's like,
Who sent you? What do they want?
we're just going to walk away and leave you alone. We don't want anything.
All right.
We are from the material plane. This is our first trip to the Feywild, so we were simply curious. But we'll simply walk away, and I just do like 2 or 3 steps back to kind of show that I am serious about this, and I do not want to be intruding into this person's space.
Yeah, you can see like with this one long free limb that he has, his arm, he kind of like shields these stones that he was like kind of meticulously placing there, and he kind of guards them, and it's like,
Be gone then. Leave my stones alone.
We were never here for stones in the first place. We're very sorry about this. And I'll kind of relate what he just said to Eirik.
I'm gonna pull out the stone that I found earlier. Does it look similar to the stones that they're using?
are you holding it out like in plain view, or just kind of for yourself?
No, just to myself for now, just to see like.
You can make a perception check to see if you can recognize the stones he's like placing around. 27. Yup. Definitely looks like a similar sort of stone, very smooth, and they each also have a unique sigil carved onto them.
I'm just gonna poke Isorel and like really like carefully, not to so it doesn't show to the creature, but I'm just gonna look at her and be like,
Want to give it to him, or
I don't know.
these stones that you have, are you looking for more?
Why do you ask?
We're going to show you something, but I want you to remain calm. And I'll take Eirik's hand and I'll slowly lift it to kind of show them the stone, but I'm also going to have my hand on my staff, like ready to like swat him if he tries to grab it.
Well, he's like still around 30 feet away from you, so
yeah, but still, like I'm
you're
ready.
bracing.
I'm bracing.
Yeah, slowly comes up. You can see like once again his right side of his face just covered in bark and roots, and his left eye starts to like kind of grow and grow and just kind of widens a bit because he has this very scrunched face as he kind of tries to look at the stone. He tries to get like a little bit closer, but the kind of barks and roots kind of just yank him back again. He kind of squeals a bit, and then you suddenly see this expression of just a mix of sadness and joy kind of run over him. As you can see, like his left eye, the only one you can see, kind of tear up a bit, and he just.
It was such beautiful stone. You wouldn't mind sharing it, would you? Please.
We can. Do you want to tell us? Could you tell us about them?
Make a persuasion check.
Please.
8.
It was on a 20.
Aww.
It was on the 20.
Can I give her inspiration?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Thank you. It's so much better.
Oh,
+5.
It was it was on the 1, and it tippled very slowly over to the
Eirik is
13.
hyping Isorel so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
My heart almost
Like massaging her shoulders. Like.
Like, tell us about a stone.
My watch just warned me my heartbeat is too fast.
oh, wow. You
I'm
first
rolling it too.
see him, like kind of recoil a bit after that question, as you immediately see an expression of, suspicion after this kind of very targeted question. But he kind of like just takes a little bit of time reading you, noticing that you haven't really in any way, shape, or form aggressively approached him, stuff like that, and
I've actually walked back to give him space, and yeah.
And he seems to like kind of, his scrunch nature remains, but it seems like just the anatomy of this thing. But he kind of loosens a bit, and he's like,
Hey, you wish to know more about these stones?
I would like to. I'm very curious. They seem to be very interesting to you.
They're invaluable to me. They're all I have. Everything else was taken.
By the people that attacked here?
Yes. These are...
you see, he kind of looks around.
These are stone of memory. They carry the memories of the people that once lived here. My family.
We found this one. Well, my friend here found this one outside, in the ruins of the settlement.
Then it is one of mine. I'd be most gracious if I can have it.
I'll relate this to Eirik. It seems like it holds the memories of his people.
Yeah, I don't need that.
No, of course not. I do intend on giving it to him. I'll see if I can ask him one more question, and I'll give it to him. I don't want to, prey, Prey, on him. He seems to be in a very tough situation. He's kind of stuck there.
If he's good for maybe a couple more questions, like, are there more that he's missing? Does he need help finding more?
Okay.
And what's his name?
I was going along the line of who attacked you, but yeah, sure.
Add it to your questions. If he wants to, you do you figure it out.
Okay. So I'll turn back to the creature, and I'll say, my companion and I would be very happy to give it to you. Very, very happy to give it to you. It seems like it does hold something quite important to you. We were actually wondering if you were looking for more, or if you knew if there were any more, and if we could help you, perhaps?
Yes. There must be many more. I would hope. For my own good.
I imagine scattered in the settlement, around the different dwellings.
Yes.
Okay.
We use these stones to remind ourselves where we came from. They were near and dear to us.
Okay. So, like I said, my name is Isarel, and this here is my friend Eirik. Could we know your name?
My name is Waxahi.
Which, yeah, now funky name comes back.
Oh no.
Oh, nope. Okay. And I have just one more question for you, and I will understand if you don't want to answer me. But first, before I ask my question, I will give you the stone because I don't want this question to break the link that we're having here. So I'll take the stone from Eirik and I'll slowly walk and stop about 10 feet from him and put the stone back and then use my staff to push it towards him just to show that like I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to grab at his other things or like keep a respectful stance, and then walk back and say, who would have thought necessary to attack you and try to eradicate your existence?
You can see with his long limb, he like easily grabs the stone, kind of pulls it close towards himself, and then kind of picks it up and just kind of squeezes it for a moment. And you can see he kind of closes his eyes, and then somewhat ignoring your question for a moment,
Yeah.
as he closes
Yeah.
his eyes, you can see a small spark come from the stone itself, and then a shiver go down his spine as he opens his eyes, and you can suddenly just see this expression of just joy, literal joy, as also another tear kind of falls down his eyes, and you can see him smile for the first time.
Yes, another memory.
And he kind of adds it to his little stone collection, and then kind of looks towards you with a very gleeful expression, and he says,
Thank you so much. This means a lot. This truly means a lot. Well, a lot of people thought it necessary to eradicate us. Many of the different seeds and even members of courts didn't like our presence here. Especially after the war. They thought us cowards because we didn't want to join them or fight. They didn't like our stories. They didn't like where we came from or what we had to tell. They saw us as omens of bad luck. And when, well, bad luck hits, they blamed us for it.
I'm guessing you've been stuck here since your settlement was attacked.
Yes, for a while now. For a while.
Alright. Well, my friend and I are going to go back to the settlement, and we will take some time and look around and search and see if we can find more of those stones for you. We have another friend that is around, so we have a short time, but for the few hours that we still have here, we will be looking for more stones for you, and we will be back whether we find some or not, just to let you know so you don't wait indefinitely for us.
This is the first bit of kindness I've been shown in quite some time.
Well, I am a druid who studied under an Eladrin. Your people have a soft spot in my heart.
I see. Do you follow any of the codes?
If you're asking... If you're asking who... It's a complicated answer because I do not know part of that answer. And also it changed with time. But what I can say for sure is that the creature, the being that is closest to my beliefs, that is closest to my heart, sorry, I'm looking for my thing, is where is it? Where is it? Is the Archdragon Mirvarax, the Evergreen Soul Giver.
Very well. So are you a member of the Silvaris Court then?
I am not a member of the court. I have been looking for the court.
I see. I see.
They have all but disappeared.
And maybe better so. Maybe that's why you're the only one who shows me kindness.
I am starting to... This is why I say my beliefs have shifted and changed. There's a lot of things that I didn't know when I first started studying the arts of nature and Druidism, and the more I learn about it, the less I see what I was looking for, and the more I turn more towards nature itself and its beings that served nature rather than people who created laws and beliefs and
Thank you. Thank you. Remembering was very important to our people. Because we once lost everything. We didn't want it to lose it again.
yes. I found ruins in, well, I say my friends and I found ruins where Mirvarax was heavily depicted, and that's when the shift started. That's where everything started connecting to me. And I saw how how you were welcomed and how they helped and tried to do what they could to make you feel at home. And that's what I've always believed was the goal of nature.
Yes. Yes.
See him, he kind of just zones into his tiny pile of rocks and then just starts to order them again in seemingly undistinct ways. And while he's talking, Eric, you're sitting back, kind of just half listening to his conversation because you can't really understand what he's saying. But he's still also a part of his tiny collection of stones. He also has like a collection of the same wooden carved figurines also around him placed, and he has like a little collection there. He seems to have, with the things around him, he managed to kind of make like this makeshift shelf where he has kind of lined them all up, and he just has this tiny area that he seems to keep clean for himself. He's like brushed leaves away and stuff like that, and just has this pile of stones and this tiny set of wooden carved statues.
I'll just start pulling the statues out, handing them up to Iserel. Just
Okay. Look, it looks like my friend here found some statuettes like you have. Are these of any significance to you?
Yes, I do like them. I wish I could remember who carved which one, but they don't hold the memories.
Would you like them?
Yes, please. It would be very kind.
Sure. And I'll hand them to him.
Thank you very much.
Kind of just takes them, places them, and tries to like.
I'm gonna keep one. I'm gonna keep the. Which one did I want? I'm gonna keep the mermaid with tentacles.
Very well. Don't forget the jellyfish hat. Yeah. And he kind of takes them and almost like as if he has like OCD, first has to sort his stones in a particular way, and then places one of the statues there, realizes it doesn't fit, takes it away, and then kind of repeats that. But while he's doing that, he can also looks towards you and he's like,
Do you also remember? Do you also hold memories?
Yes, I do.
Then keep them close.
I will. I have started putting them down into words so that they can be remembered even after I'm gone.
As long as I'm still alive, it doesn't matter what curses they place on me. They shan't take my memories away. No one.
That's good. It seems like that's what our people have been forgetting. Memories of our past and who we were and how connected to nature we were. And it hurts.
An easy thing to forget. It is an easy thing.
Yes.
Masani, Dolchvila, Kolsvasi.
and he suddenly just starts listing names just to himself. Just starts saying names.
All right. Okay, and I'll turn back and point to Eric, like, all right, let's go down, let's skedaddle.
Okay. That went well.
That went so much better than I thought it would. I was afraid that I would scare him into, like, shutting down and not talking at all.
Let's get out of here then.
Yes.
Okay.
You both start to skedaddle out of the tower, and as you do that, we'll do our switcheroo. Going over to Fiera, who just took a 10-minute break to do
Yes.
what?
It's just finished Legend Lore. Yeah, so many things to do. Should try to pace myself. I will take an hour to rest. Although my brain will be thinking about things. Again, I'll just kind of walk around the grove, relax, try to talk to some of the grass, rocks, trees, just to remember where I am and try to get used to the Fae, which I probably won't. But yeah, after that hour, I will find another place to sit down and relax, and I'll take out. I assume I have a Staniel ski.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, so I'm going to try to study it and try to figure out this 10-day aspect and how I can fiddle with it.
All right, then make an Arcana check.
Go. Boy, it doesn't seem high enough. What should I use? Let's use Chronal Shift. I have 2 for the day. Like messing with time makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, it's lower. Wow.
Do I have... Can I use inspiration on a Chronal Shift reroll?
Yeah, inspiration you can use on anything.
Okay. Oh my gosh. They use up all the good rolls. Okay, give my inspiration for the day.
The plus 50 is crazy.
I know. 3 times a charm. Okay.
26.
I will accept that, yes.
Yes, diving into this magic, it is almost like what you're trying to do is kind of open up the, inside of like a mechanism, like unclipping a phone or like a clock to try and see like what building blocks are here. Obviously,
Yes.
you notice rather quickly that it's crafted out of a very strong, divine, magical energy that, is not easily replicated. This is some... Well, as you know, it's holding the literal spirit of one of the angels that fought in a war, and you can see that quite easily. The time aspect, you also notice, is damning simple, which is, it seems as though the tether, because, it has to somehow measure time, and it seems to measure it very easily. There is a predetermined object or thing, and it counts how many lapses of the sun it sees to determine how much time has passed.
Oof.
Unfortunately, you do not know what the object is that has to see the sun to pass. And well,
Oh boy.
that's the only thing actually that's kind of in the way. So it's a very, very simple spell, but you notice how powerful such a simple spell can be.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's just there to measure time. Hmm. Interesting. I mean, I can't make the sun rotate around, or us rotate around the sun. I can't replicate the sun. Hmm. We're in the Fae, and the Fae works differently here too. Can I see Solaris in the sky?
No, you actually don't see any sun who's in the sky itself. It seems to be a skyless or sunless portion, but it might also be just be the angle of where you are in the Feywild, since everything here is static, so you might have to travel somewhere else. Yeah. You with that 26, I'll give you a couple more things that you would know. You notice that this is very specifically used, this sort of very easy translatable way of measure is, you know, extraplanar. Extraplanar in the sense that it works on every plane. So no matter where you are, it is still counting time of wherever that object is that was placed to prevent, you know, fudging around. However, with the 26, you also know you're seeing the very foundation or the code of how the spell is made. You could potentially try and change it. However, tremendous consequences of potentially just breaking the key, losing the effects, or maybe piss off Astani or whatever, you know, like the consequences are boundless, but that is also a possibility.
Do I know if the place he's in within the key is another plane? Or is it like a pocket dimension?
You gain more the sense that it is some form of pocket dimension. You are pretty confident about that. It has very similar vibes, since, you know, you pop in and you pop back out. It doesn't seem like it's its own dimension. You seem like that's a little bit overkill.
Oh, I just thought so. I think I have an idea.
We love ideas.
False glamour. Fucking enough. Because I think I need help with this to not break it and not have to age 10 years. Oh, glamour.
Oh no. Oh no. Yes?
Okay. So we both know you have a lot of potential, right?
Oh my god. You really know how to start conversations. Oh, yeah, I guess. You've been telling me all about it. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, through travel with me, you probably know there's other versions of you out there that also have a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what if I helped you reach one of them that is gifted with arcane knowledge that is, well, probably not equal to myself, but probably close. And then you help me try to figure out how to mess with this clock. You'd be my assistant. I'll give you literally the tools and knowledge needed to help me.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean,
Oh, wonderful.
what's the
And I
worst?
start casting a spell.
So, although,
Put a bead in my hand. Kind of hand it over him. You have to cast this on yourself. And
okay.
think about a glamour that is arcane supreme. You control the elements. The weave is it beckons to your call.
I
You're
like
all powerful.
I like the castle, you know that, right? I know I like it's not.
I remember you used a little bit of a charm, but I don't know if I would call you. Just try to use that.
Okay, so I should use it now.
Oh, well, yes.
Ah,
I
okay.
need an assistant.
Okay. And then He casts it
All
on
right.
itself.
Yeah, so he casts Borrowed Knowledge on himself, and I'm going to give him the Arcane skill, trying to reach out to a Glamour that is proficient in Arcane, so that he can assist me on this.
Yup. And
A very roundabout way, but
yup.
we did it.
Indeed he does.
Wonderful. But yeah, I'll get to work, and I'll allow him to comment.
Oh. Oh wow, is this how you
You
feel?
could probably you could probably see things differently.
Oh,
we're in
no.
the phase. The weave's actually quite strong here.
Oh no, I'm overthinking things. Oh god. Oh my. Oh, that's my worst nightmare. Alright, okay. Wow, that
Well, overthink this. It's Pocket mentioned the angels in here. We're gonna set the clock so that time has passed.
Alright. Let me use my tiny cat brain to solve this. Alright. And yeah, you can just listen to analysis.
Okay. Yeah, I guess what checks do you need me to do to mess with time in a key that has the angel in it? And sun rotates around the earth.
Okay, so once again, you have like kind of at the moment with your knowledge one option, which is rewriting the magic, like reknitting it. Doing time stuff, then you would have to fulfill the conditions that have been set here, which are very simple, which is the object that has been determined has to see the sun 10 times. Or has to.
I don't know how to do that. How do I do? I literally have to.
Yeah, I will say.
That seems pretty tough.
Yeah, and specifically in a Feywild, you notice it's like impossibly tough because you don't even see the sun. Like how would you even start to plus this object if you want to influence it? Most likely, it would be extremely random as per your belief if it would be in the Feywild. So both things you need to do anything aren't in your possession. And with that, like Fiera is very clear. Yeah, no, unless you're literally either Shiva was itself or one of the creators, you won't be doing much at this moment. But
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a TV show, Moon Knight, where the guy literally made the stars fly in the sky.
oh,
It takes a literal god's power to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can do that yet.
yeah, not yet. Close.
So yeah, I'm just gonna try to essentially put some arcane jargon in there so that I can make it think time has passed, or make it think a revolution has gone by.
All right, I will give you several options here, and depending which one you choose will also determine the DC. Whichever you choose, the DC is already absurdly high. So, first one is you can either make it so that you just rewrite it so that it thinks 10 days have already passed, but that's a one-time thing, and that is what you believe to be the easiest one. Still very difficult, but the easiest of the options. The other one is you just completely rewire the thing so that just less time has to pass each time. And then you can try and fucks with the time. However, just basically rewriting that if 1 day passes, it's gone. Or if you want to go completely absurd, is you completely break the connection between the sun and this object and just write in your own code, basically saying it's
No,
always.
I know he likes the sun. I can't do that.
Yeah. So those are three.
We'll
things.
knock this out of the park after one more go, right? The rewiring, it does sound more cool. No, I believe in us. We'll knock it out of the park next time we go in there. So I will do the simpler one and just rewrite it so that time has passed.
All right, time has passed is your goal. Now, once again, I'll just be very, very upfront with the consequences that could potentially come from this. If you fail rather hard, that could potentially break the key entirely, meaning you don't have access to the dimension at all. Other thing is that your tampering might become aware to external inside, and that has, you know, unforeseen social problems.
Sure.
Maybe won't even allow you inside. And the other one is the key might just explode. You don't know. This is some divine artifact. It might have some defense mechanisms to prevent people.
Okay. Let's write that down. Okay. Might explode.
Yeah, some divine judgment. So now I'm telling you right now, I won't tell you the DC until you tell me, like, yes, you're doing it. And after that, you're locked in and you cannot go back.
Oh, I'm doing it regardless. Yeah. So the only question is, I have one scroll shift. I only have one pearl. I'm not going to use that. For Convergent Future, is that something I can use before, after? How's it? It's a crazy ability. Use your reaction to ignore the dice roll and decide whether a number is minimum or less than 1. Can I roll first and then before I hear the result use it, or like how?
Yeah, you.
Everything's different.
I think you have to. Well, actually, I don't think you even have to know because you can basically.
Because it's a reaction, but.
Oh yeah.
What am I reacting to?
After you see a creature, after you or a creature,
they make an attack roll.
You make an attack roll, ability check by saying, so you can force the creature to. Oh no, I'm reading Chrono Shift. I'm dumb.
Oh yeah, it's still different.
Why isn't it under reactions then?
Yeah, because it's a Chronomancer thing.
Yeah. Okay. What's it called again?
Convergent Future. It's under.
Oh wait, it's no action.
Yeah. Well, no. It's a reaction.
Showing a particular.
I'm guessing they didn't put it in D&D Beyond, right?
Yeah. Or well, it's like because you don't have to use your reaction or anything to have this happen. We're saying so you can use. Oh no, it does say your reaction. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, why does it say no action then? Saying so you can use your action to ignore the die roll and decide whether the number rolled is the minimum needed to succeed, or one less than that number, your choice.
But then I use it after I see a creature within 60 feet, make an attack roll, ability check, or save and throw.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, so basically you can use it whenever you want. That's just the ground, that's the guideline of this ability. And, you know, the DM then has to decide on... Because rules don't put on limits, they just give you a guideline. And...
Yes.
Because technically, you know, if there was like, even if you wouldn't be able to succeed on it with a natural 20, then you have to decide, okay, would you even be possible to have rolled one higher than the DC? You know?
Right. Yes. Will I look for a book in 6 seconds in a library full of a million books?
You know, so my just home rule for this is like, it always depends on what you're trying to converge the future to, as I think makes most sense with this ability.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
All right. The DC is 30. That is the lowest one. 35 would have been for the second option, then 40 would have been for the highest option.
Is there any math that you have that even gets you there? No.
Not by myself. 35 is the highest I can go.
Yeah, but if you had guidance and then Greg was here to give a +5, you could hit the 40. Yeah, that is possible.
If I asked for help from everybody, yeah, I could do it.
Yeah, you could do it.
But me and Glamour got this. He's my assistant. It's fine.
Yeah, so you do get advantage with Glamour.
Okay, let's do this. Whoa, Jesus!
There you go. That's a 30.
Was that a 1 or was that a 20? That was a 1. Okay.
Oh my god, did you dodge a 1? 18 and a
No,
1.
1 was the second one. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sheesh, man.
That one's glamour.
Yeah. It is. It kind of is. He helps you by telling you all the things you shouldn't do. And that's how you're like, yeah, no. The red cable, it's never the red cable. That's just what the movie tells you. And I will say this is going to take several hours of extreme, meticulous work that you're kind of working through here, but you do an amazing, precise incision into this arcane artifact without leaving even the flicker of a trace that you have done this, as you kind of just unnet this weave. I won't even try to explain with words in what way that would look like, because it is truly beyond the normal capabilities of what we could perceive as non-magic users. But you really just kind of open up the arcane structures and weaves, seeing each tendril, and then basically just very, very meticulously choosing one strand, basically the same way how, you know, doctors do implants of organs or muscle tissues, where you have to be extremely careful which veins to cut and which one to reattach in order for no spillage or otherwise scars to set in that could clog potentially part of the entire equation, breaking it in a single go, but you make zero mistakes. And you are so confident that whatever's inside shouldn't be none the wiser, since you only tampered with the exterior portion of this magic. And basically, the best way to visualize this, you manage to find a clockwork mechanism inside that is counting the distance or the amount of times this object has seen it, and you're basically just kind of spooling it in front to say that, oh, it has already seen 10 times, and then basically put it back in, lock it, rewire everything back to the way it was before, close it, and done. And immediately as you are finished with your operation, a glow just comes out of the key, just, you know, notifying you that it's active again. And I think a wide smile just comes across Fiera's face, knowing what she has just done, which is tamper with a divine artifact.
Okay. Well,
As if I'm just looking at you
hard to
with
say
crazy
you're
eye.
hard to say you're a Chronomaster in training, Glamour, but
I
it's been
mean,
pretty. Okay, you did pretty well. Well, you just told me not to hit the sides and don't make it explode, and
that's important. Sometimes you forget things when you're consumed in detailed work.
I was pretty lost in this. Yes.
Yeah, I was Eric giving you the bigger picture, all right?
Ira gives the bigger picture.
The ground, yes.
Interesting.
Oh no. What did you say? Interesting. Oh, okay.
Well, that's done. How long do you think it'll be until the others come back?
Should we bet on it?
Do you want to bet against? Well, I guess it'll be a Chronomancer for a bit longer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure, I will guess 13 hours and 12 minutes.
wow. Okay, I will guess. That's good. 4 hours. I don't need seconds or minutes.
Wow, okay.
He's getting a little too confident here. Jesus.
Fear was rubbing off.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Oh boy. That means I kind of have to do my task before they get back.
I will say, since that did consume a lot of time, we will have to go towards the others for a quick moment to see what they do.
Go for it.
And then you can try and figure out if there's anything you want to squeeze in there. But yeah, Eirik and Iswell, after having had this strange conversation, you kind of left the tower. What are you up to now?
Let's start looking for those rocks. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to spend a few hours looking for round rocks with sigils.
Alrighty, then you can make an investigation check. That is definitely investigatory. You can give Eirik advantage if you want, since you can do this together, or you can show yourself. Alright, wow. Ooh, look at that. It kind of makes sense. It's a large area.
We're tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And
Yes.
you also just assume that probably if there are some stones, many of them were perhaps taken, they look pretty and shiny, so kobolds might be attracted to them. And as you comb through here, doing your probably like 3 to 4 hour search, you don't find a glimmer of any sort of stone. And you went through large portions in different areas after, these 3 hours or more, close to 4 hours, you start to feel like kind of the fatigue of the day now hitting in, walking a lot, and you're like, ugh. The last stone gets unturned, and you just look at each other and you're just like, unfortunately, nothing seems to be popping up.
Well, I guess we know it's here. We know the place is here. So if we ever
Yes.
do come back somehow,
Yes. Yes.
all right. Well,
We tried.
it's weird that he was like part of the tower, right?
It is weird, but also it's the Feywild. He's probably been stuck in there for who knows how long, and it's probably started growing around him and entangling him.
I'll admit I was worried that was going to go south every time you and him spoke. Like,
You couldn't hear a single word of what. Well, you could hear them, but you couldn't understand a single word of what was being said. Yeah, it could have gone wrong like 1,600 times.
oh man,
Yeah.
good thing it didn't.
Yep.
Well, okay. So, yeah, if we come back, we can start fresh, keep looking for them. We know he's relatively friendly for the most part for now.
Yes. Yes. I did say that. I did say that I was going to let him know that we have searched and we're leaving. So I'll just take a few minutes to go warn him that we haven't found now, but we're hoping to come back, and
Mhm.
if and when we come back, we can take more time to look for him.
Sure.
So I'll quickly go do that. I'll probably turn into a bird to fly up, so it takes less time.
Yeah, as you kind of pop up, they
Yeah.
kind of recoil. So
Yeah.
appear to us.
And then I turn back into myself. Sorry, it was a little quicker like this.
Yes, of course.
We've just spent I don't know how many hours now looking for more. We haven't found any. We do have to go and join back with our friend. But like I promised, if and when we come back around these parts, we will keep looking for you. But we have spent a few hours looking for more.
Thank you. Thank you nonetheless. Your kindness is more valuable than anything I've received in a long time.
I'm glad we could at least find one for you. And I'll turn back into my little bird and
Yeah.
go back to Eirik.
And you return. Swoop back to Eirik.
Right. I guess let's get back to Fiera and see what's going on with her.
Yeah.
I'm
Left her alone doing experiments in the
There's-
Feywild.
There's 3 things that are coming to mind. We're gonna come back and the grove is going to be exploded.
Oh my god. We would have heard, probably.
We're going to come back and Fiera's going to be 170 years old.
Yep.
We're going to come back and Fiera's hair is going to be a different color.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things that are going through my head.
Or there's like actual multiple versions of her just standing in the grove.
Please don't put that nightmare into my head.
Okay, I said nothing.
Let's start walking back to the grove then.
Alrighty. Then one of you can roll me a D12.
Yeah,
got it.
will.
I got
Okay.
it. I got it.
Okay.
8. So with Glamour's bet, 8 hours after you made that bet, Fiera with Glamour is when they return.
Mhm.
So you still have 8 hours during that time period if there's anything you would like to do. Which I'm counting.
Not a thing. Well, I guess we could do 1 or 2 things. Yeah. So after working out, after messing with the key, I will force myself to take a short rest. Even though all my experiments have gone pretty well so far. So I'll take a short rest. And then I will cast Contact Other Plane and try to contact Bell.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It's always something or someone with Fiera.
Yeah, I know. My contact list is nuts. Tongues, Intellect Fortress. I don't think I need anything else right now.
Alright, so 3 large trees burn up as you cast these spells, and once again the tether grows, and you are now once again quite familiar with the plane of hell, and so you have no troubles traveling there, and you go through the usual motions. First sulfur, then the boiling skin under the boiling flesh underneath your skin, and then you can see glowing red eyes, a silhouetted body sitting on a throne but chained there, the form that you now associate with Bell, at least whenever you contact them via this method.
Do you mind a few questions before we find our way to the Bronze Citadel?
No.
Good. Do you know what happened to us after we broke our contract with Khmer Shah?
Yes.
Who possesses what we lost?
Nothing was lost.
Who upholds these contracts?
Different.
Do you want to destroy divinity?
No.
I see. That's 5.
And that is 5. A smooth contract as a plane, as it was written in the instruction manual, as without much problems. You managed to go. Wait, didn't you have to first roll an intelligence save?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
It would be so funny if you get snake eyes.
Well, pretty close. 1, 1, 1. I got 3 ones. But no, I'm okay.
Yeah, so yep, it transpires as it does. Anything else?
Oh boy, I think it would be upset if I called him again. Technically, I could. He didn't seem to be bothered by my questions. Let's see what happens if I call him again.
All right.
Someone make the save first.
Yeah. No one is annoyed as me who has to change the music all the time. Wow.
Why am I rolling so low?
Even with advantage, that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
But it still makes it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That still makes it, right?
Yeah, 15 is the DC, which I've failed twice so far.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Somehow.
Yeah, that's crazy. You just stay in the realm. I'll just say it like that. You probably just recast it once you're there. It's gonna give you a little bit more time.
Okay. If Tiamat offers me a contract, does she have to follow it?
Yes. If under the right conditions.
Do you know what this Astiox is? Their scion?
One of Tiamat's chosen children.
I was right. My bet was it was a fire dragon. Or something similar. I guess 2. Do you know what happened to Sardior after putting Tiamat to sleep?
No.
Would you like to return home?
My wishes are not important.
Guess I would disagree. Have you been to the Fae?
I have burned parts of it, yes.
I wasn't counting. One,
I think
2,
that was
3.
5.
that- Yeah, because the Fae is the 10th one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon. And now I'll leave.
Yeah.
Soon indeed.
So you return back to the Feywild. As the furnace, at this point, just now used to it. It's like, she's rolling eyes. Starts to partially.
Yeah, there's probably like smoke or like sulfur just coming off me. Just...
Yeah, he has like this fan that he made out of like leaves. It's just kind of funny.
Right. Okay, well, interesting. Okay, Okay. You can't tell the others glamour if I do this, which I think I'm going to. Know that it's for their well-being. Because if they knew I was doing this, they would just stop me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you like sometimes think about why they would stop you?
We all have different paths to take.
Yeah, but you're sharing a path.
How can I put it? I guess I don't know how to put it. There's no good way to put this. This is an odd situation. This is...
I mean, from my perspective, alright, as a cat, you know, we are all together on a cart. It's being pulled by a horse. But there's only one seat at the front of this horse. But there are enough seats on the cart. There's one road. There are multiple ways. Right now, you are sitting on the horse, dictating where it's going, and you're telling your friends, close your eyes. I'm going the right direction. Head first into a goblin war camp.
Yeah, well, we can use that example. There's a goblin war camp. They used to be peaceful. Over time, they grew. Something changed. Let's say an outsider came there and talked to them and convinced them to worship this new god. And if they worship the god, they gain power, and everything else is out to get them. But they were convinced because they just didn't understand. Now we go by and we see angry goblins. Do we go there and just slaughter them all? Or do we figure out what's going on, why, and how we can help so that they're peaceful again?
Yeah. That is one way you can take. Or you can go around the goblins and maybe try a safer
but the
way.
goblins are going to grow, they're going to spread, they're going to attack nearby villages.
I guess. But, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are multiple paths that could potentially lead to the same results. And by choosing not to tell other people, you are heavily assuming that your path is the right one. Right? I mean, you have to be very confident that your path is the right one, as to then not to tell anyone else except a cat. I mean, you sound like a grandma right now, which, now that you're time wizard, you probably already are.
Wow, okay. That's quite rude.
Is that like a compliment for time wizards?
I don't know. I've never actually met one, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, that's true. That's just my concern, I'm just a cat. But if I had a hat, I would tip it right now and just say, hey, it's it's okay to get other people involved because they might have insight in things that you might have not considered. Because
I already know that if I talk to Eirik about this, one sentence, it would be enough.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, he has as strong as a reason to say no as you have as strong as a reason to say yes. So
Yes, and how did, well, I guess we kind of came to this conclusion at the wall. The book, the seal, the Melador thing. I don't think you were there. Were you live at that point? I actually don't remember.
no, I died like real early on.
Okay. What's the best way to put this? Why don't you roll a persuasion check for glamour? I think it would take a 20 or higher to convince her to wait and try to get her impressed in the fold.
Alrighty, let me take out his character sheet. Oh boy, that's a long time. That's a long time to get his character sheet. Well, to be fair, he isn't like trying to convince you of anything. He's just trying to give you a different
He makes a good point.
Yeah, but it's fair. It is fair. Alrighty, let's see his persuasion. It's fucking good.
Yeah, he was a bard, I think. Ooh. Makes good points.
But you said 20, so
I freaking
Yeah.
forgot his first name. And seeing it now is
Vendrick.
like a flashback to like
Oh my god, I don't
the
think I have that
first
written
5
anywhere.
or 6 sessions.
Hendrik, glamour.
I have it somewhere in my stuff. It's so funny.
wait, actually, let me see. How good is this Arcana? Oh, that's about. No, it's not that good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And sometimes you do things for the greater good that your friends might not understand.
That is a fair point if that is what you wish to believe. I'm just. I'll just be your cat on the shoulder. You know, I think it might be good once and again to occasionally give you the different perspectives, because I'm just seeing similarities to what I've been through, and you know where that ended me. I'm just saying the path you're taking right now is quite lonely.
You know, when I tried to take people with me, they're both dead.
That's what I'm saying. Someone who has.
That's why it's better to go alone. It's. If there's consequences, it will be on me, not them.
Yeah, that's the kind of loneliness I'm afraid of.
Well, you can stay with them.
Well, no, I don't want the same thing that happened to me happen to you. Yeah, okay, I'll admit it. I've grown a bit fond of you guys. Alright, I said it, okay? And I know you put me through the ringer, but at the end of the day, I'm still somehow your familiar now.
That's true.
And
quite useful.
yes, and I would hate to see the day where you would stop caring about us because of a fear of losing us. That's all I will say.
Fair. And I'll prep more spells for this one. Sorry, trees. So on top of Tongues and Intellect Fortress, I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages because I don't read Draconic.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do Borrowed Knowledge on myself so that I learn the Deception skill. How do I give myself that? Proficient. Proficient. Borrowed Knowledge. Perfect. Oh, and I only have one pearl left, but I don't need to identify anything right now. I will cast Fortune's Favor again, burning my last pearl. Goodbye. I will delete it. It's gone. No more identify.
Wow. A wizard without identify. Crazy times.
I know. And I'll contact other plane, Tiamat. Say hello. Oh, after putting my refined contract in front of me.
Yes. Very well. This time, as you do contact other plane, it feels almost as if you just kind of slip into it. You don't even spend time searching, almost as if a door has been opened before you could grab the handle, and you're immediately enveloped in the fiery pit with the 5 red glowing orbs, but one of them flickering more heavily and flaring up as it becomes aware of your consciousness.
Hello again. Would you accept my deepest apologies of this young mortal's misunderstandings last we spoke? And I'll kind of try to, I know I'm in a weird form, but kind of put myself lower as I'm trying to bow.
Save your formalities. We're here for business. I can smell it. Speak.
I know the confines of contact other plane. Do I feel like they're being lessened, or am I still limited to question form?
It feels very different from your usual contact other planes. As the last time you were also just kind of whipped back, and the whiplash that brought you here, you seem to be in a very similar state. Though this time without the chains.
I've spent time learning of your past since we've last spoke. That is my curiosity. History has been lost to me and my kind. I want to learn more about you. What you've been through, what changed you, what you learned after the peace. What have the divine done? But I can't do this if we're at ends. I'd rather we work together. There's things I want to know, and I know that there are instruments that you need to wake up.
Curious one you are indeed. Very well.
Well, I guess, I don't know. Can I, like, try to, I know magic, like, apparate these pages, kind of in front of me and kind of point out some things. Your blood is quite useful and potent, as it is yours, but it's getting a bit unwieldy. Can we come to agreement? As I kind of highlight the section. I have a chrysalis you can have, and I'd rather wear it as an amulet or something else.
This is all you can offer. You wish to gain attunement to my blood, and you offer me the distilled heart of one of my long-descended children that have perished.
For now. I'll of course be looking for more. I'm sure it'll be worth my while as well.
It would.
I saw what you did to that knight.
Bargains have to be made at an equal footing. I am not displeased with the contract itself. I am displeased with the things you offer. I think you have more valuable things that are of greater interest to me, that would make me more compliant.
And what would these be?
The very thing you tried to protect with your little contract. Your soul.
Oh boy.
But I understand mortal minds fear for their puny lives. So, I shall come down to your terms. Fiera. I shall accept these conditions, but I'll add 3 more to make things a little bit more interesting, to see how truly confident you are. Very simple. I'll accept all of these conditions, but you have 30 days to get this horn. If you manage to do so, the contract extends in duration, and I can't say anything against it. If you fail, however, I get your soul. And within these 30 days, as per standard, neither party is allowed to interfere, not directly or indirectly. I won't stop you from getting the horn. You won't stop me from getting the horn.
Does that mean I can't stop the gateway?
Precisely.
"30 days. My guess is it will stabilize within 30 days. But afterwards, if I so wished, then I could interfere with the gateway.
You could indeed. I'll add 1 extra bonus to make this even more tasty. If you manage to stand before my waking body with that horn, I will not be allowed to take it. However, I will tell you the truth that made me turn against the gods.
Ooh boy. No persuasion check needed for me. I am interested. Beforehand, could you tell me, since we failed our previous contract with Khmer Shah, what did we lose and who gained?
The way the rules are set, Belle has already decided what will happen to you. Good luck.
And she shuns you out, but in this shunning, you can still see you now have two options. You can either accept or not accept the contract she has made.
I know what fear to do. Boy, do I have the I accept.
Very well. I will write just the extra things for you, which are pretty self-explanatory. Well, I will do it afterwards. So you accept, and you can just feel part of your soul tethered towards this contract as a tiny bit of blood. Though it's only your soul, but that's all you really need. Gets placed onto an infernal contract that kind of binds you both, and though you're being shunned away, there is an ethereal chain connecting both of you across all planes as you sign this, and you just hear very satisfied. And that's where we're gonna end today's session, as the deal with the devil has once again been made.
She's just playing her own D&D game. Like,
Yeah, you guys have a
Whatever-
high-level wizard.
whatever else is happening, it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh my god.
I
Mhm.
am interested to see how Fiera is going to convince the others to find a horn with her.
Well, yeah, that's a big question. If only
You're gonna
I
have a
gave
lot of
myself
trouble there, Matt.
deception.
Yep.
Oh boy, man, if there ever was a time for a player to turn into a potential BBAG, it is now. But it fits
Like
so perfectly.
it's a very simple explanation. Fiera has been talking with the gods. Gods have the answers, and now she has a direct line to Tiamat and everything else that's in this contract that you guys can figure out after the campaign or when you kill her.
Yeah, we're getting close.
But yeah, I can just give you access. You can edit this if that works.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to just add it.
Well, you can just edit just a couple.
Okay. Yeah, no, when you guys come back, I mean, everything will be more or less normal. We'll just
Yep. Yep.
go into
looking
the
forward
key
to it.
and then we'll figure out what to do next, you know?
Totally. Yep.
I just have to keep track of 30 days. What day is it, Jack? Just so I know as a player and on my calendar here. So I can put a timer.
Yeah,
on
it
myself.
is the 4th day in the 5th Voss of Michael, 3592 PE.
Fifth boss. Okay.
Okay.
Deal with Tiamat.
And I'll just send it to you here. There you go. Those are the 4 basically extrapolations. Well, I mean, yeah, splitting the party and everyone doing their own little, not even little, not even little. It's in no shit way, little while. Eric and Icewa are just genuinely helping this poor dude that's trapped in this tower, retrieving some of his memories.
Yep.
We did a good thing.
They're a really
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah, that was great. Good job.
Wakzahi. Yeah.
I learned so much today. Like
We're
legend
playing
lore.
two complete different campaigns right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is kind of downtime, and you both. Oh, you decided to do separate things. But yeah, that's for us to figure out. But that ends today's episode. So we say goodbye for now, and hopefully you join us for the madness next time. So until then,
It's gonna be 30 days of fun.
bye.